Red Deer Public Schools acknowledges Treaty 6 territory to the north of the Red Deer River. Treaty 6 territory is the ancestral and traditional territory of the Cree, Dene, Blackfoot, Saulteaux, Nakota Sioux, as well as the Métis. We also acknowledge Treaty 7 territory to the south of the Red Deer River. Treaty 7 territory is the ancestral and traditional territory of the Métis, Blackfoot Confederacy, Kainai, Piikani, and Siksika, as well as the Tsuut'ina First Nation and Stoney Nakoda First Nation. We acknowledge and give thanks to all the many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit whose footsteps have marked these lands for centuries. We are grateful for elders and the traditional knowledge keepers who are still with us today and those who have gone before. Recognizing and acknowledging the traditional land is an act of reconciliation and a show of gratitude to those whose territory we reside on.
My name is John Sinclair. I'm Cree from northern Alberta. My grandparents both come from different reserves. My grandfather was from Whitefish Lake. My grandmother came from Ermineskin. I'm really happy to be here today, really thankful to be asked to do this. I was given protocol and asked to come and do a song and a prayer to mark this special day of truth and reconciliation. And to me, the truth and reconciliation is very important to all of us, and especially for our young people who are growing up in Canada today. Knowing the history is so important. And the TRC is, the ones who first brought forth that information. So today we're going to mark that day, and we're going to ask our Creator to come and join us today, to come and look after everybody who sees this video, everybody who's gathered here, and to understand that they're finding so many of our dead young children, in unmarked graves across Canada, where the residential schools once existed. And so I want to do a prayer song, and it's for the families that lost those children, for the families who are still here with us today, who are grieving for their lost children. And, they're numbering into the 6,000s now, and there'll be more. And so this song is called Looking for Life, because we want to give hope to those families. We want to honor them for sitting so long, not knowing. And that's the hardest part, not knowing what happened to our children. So this song is for that. And on this special day, we'll ask our Creator to come and help me sing with the spirits as well. Just speak a little bit in my language and just thank our Creator for giving us this time together. Ananaskamao semanto mamo yo tawi mao. Kiah ka te peitagain ka kyoki goy. Kiah ka osihtain ka kyoki goy. Kiah ka pe megausia ka kyoki goy. E penanaskum tanu egwan mautsi. Awe pentum tan te pewa pahtaman ka kyoge. Taisini makoge awasak ke deowak kakyo aisinoak pe witi nan pe sito skau nan pe kanawem nan pe sawem nan utakakyo egwange ka atosketchikota snaumagang gamgo Egwangik mina the wheat to hawk, quays the mom the name to tick, quays the sagi to tick akioxise, anaskam and egwanma. We thank you, Creator, for another beautiful day. Thank you for giving us life and all that you've gifted us with. We thank you for bringing all the people together to think about this day. And we ask for your blessings for all those helpers, all those teachers that are spending the days with our children. We ask that you help them to share their kindness, their care, their love, their respect for those things that they're teaching, that they'll give those things in a good way to our children. And we ask for blessings for all our little people that go to school, and for all the teachers and instructors and the leaders of those the school division. So we ask that you continue to guide us each and every day. Hi.
Well, good morning, you little pumpkins. My name is Donna Bishop, and I help out with the grandfather here at the Friendship Center in Red Deer. And so they call me Grandma. So this day is about actually little people a long time ago that were Indigenous, but a lot of them didn't come home. So this day is about remembering. Remembrance Day. That's what I'll use. Remembrance Day. What is Remembrance Day for? Well, this is our Remembrance Day, when our children didn't come home from residential school. And we won't get into too much of that stuff. You're pretty little yourself. But it's about wearing an orange t-shirt to support all the little ones that are about your age that might have not made it home a long, long time ago in history. And that's what you're going to be learning more about, is what that orange t-shirt really means. So if we're not in COVID times, but I guess we are, I was going to say, hold each other's hands in your classroom and give each other some support while your teachers, they're mustering up all the courage in the world to tell you the story of what happened long ago in a real good way that you can understand, letting you know education is about learning. Sometimes learning about stuff in history that wasn't so good, but it shares with us in here, so that when we get older and bigger, we don't repeat those same things that weren't so great a long time ago. So all of you kids, listen up with your ears and your hearts today as you hear your teachers sharing the stories about the Indigenous children and what happened a long time ago.
My name is Terry Lakey, and I am a teacher with Red Deer Public School District. And we're on the site here this morning of the Red Deer Industrial School. This was a Indian residential school that was in operation from the late 1890s to 1919. And at this particular school, we had students who attended from all over Alberta. And what made this one particularly difficult was that it was a long ways away from the reserves that it served. And so those children had to come a long way from home. In 1919, when it closed down, 5 years later, it opened up in Edmonton. We're on this location here today because we want to commemorate National Day of Truth and Reconciliation, which is a day to recognize the legacy of the Indian residential schools. The National Center for Truth and Reconciliation has a very thought-provoking logo, and that logo speaks to the journey of Canadians, the journey that Canadians are on to truth and reconciliation. Canadians from all ages are represented in that symbol. That logo, or that flame, speaks of reconciliation, and that fire of reconciliation has been lit and is traveling all across Canada, and that was sparked through the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. And so the question for everyone in this country is, what can we do to bring to that fire, or what can we bring to that fire? Some of us might be able to bring a small twig, some of us might be able to bring a log, or some of us might be able to bring a whole bunch of logs. But the idea is that each one of us is adding to that fire, so that fire will burn bright, and it will burn strong, and it will be as resilient and as enduring as possible. So whatever you bring to that fire today, I want to thank you for participating. and commemorating. We are all in a different place on that journey. Some might know lots about the story about this place. Some of us might not know so much. Today is most definitely not a day to make people feel guilty or angry or sad or mad. That's not the purpose of this day. It's simply about learning a bit more, understanding a bit more about this part of Canadian history. It's about bringing whatever size of wood you want to bring to that fire. Whatever you feel comfortable with, that's what you bring, and that's how you start the day. We wish you a profitable day as you're learning, as you're remembering, and as you're commemorating, and may that be an ongoing process for us all. Hi, hi.
My name is Brian St. Germain, and I'm Cree from Red Deer, Alberta. I'm a former teacher with Red Deer Public School District. I'm also a member of the Remembering the Children Society. I was born and raised in Red Deer and grew up just down the hill from this spot. We are located on Treaty 7 and very near Treaty 6 territory. Today, we are at the Red Deer City Cemetery, where 4 students from the Red Deer Indian Industrial School were buried in 1918. These 4 students died as a result of the Spanish flu. Jane Baptiste, 13 years old, Sarah Sousse, 13 years old, Georgina House, 14 years old, David Lightning, 14 years old. They were buried here instead of the cemetery near the school because at the time the school was suffering from an outbreak of diseases and everyone was so sick that there was no one physically able to help dig the graves. And as a result, the undertaker from Red Deer was called to arrange the burial of the young students in Red Deer. In 2011, Remembering the Children Society was formed to preserve the history and legacy of the Red Deer Indian Industrial School Cemetery and to ensure that the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's calls to action are enacted, specifically in regards to missing children and burial information. On September 28, 2017, a ceremony hosted by Remembering the Children Society and as an act of reconciliation was held at the Red Deer Cemetery to unveil a special memorial marker at the grave sites of the 4 Red Deer Indian Industrial School students buried here. Chief Wilton Littlechild spoke at the memorial and he stated, "In our traditional way, there is a belief that if you don't do ceremony, the child's spirit wanders around. When the children died over 100 years ago, no traditional ceremony was done for them. They had to wait 100 years for the pipe ceremony in 2017 to free their spirits. The marker stands as a sad reminder of the young lives lost as a result of the legacy of residential schools." I would encourage everyone to read and respond to the 94 TRC calls to action. As TRC Commissioner Chief Littlechild has said, we have a daily call to action that ignites our spirits to work together towards a new and more inclusive and better Canada. You now have a responsibility to work towards true reconciliation, to heal and repair the damaged relationship between Indigenous and non-Indigenous Canadians. The past is always present until it is resolved. The path forward is in your heart. Hi, hi.
When They Buried the Children by Abigail Echo Hawke. When they buried the children, what they didn't know, they were lovingly embraced by the land. Held and cradled in a mother's heart, the trees wept for them with the wind. They sang mourning songs their mothers didn't know to sing, bending branches to touch the earth around them. The Creator cried for them, the tears falling like rain.
Mother Earth held them until they could be found. Now our voices sing the morning songs. With the trees, the wind, light, sacred fire, ensure they're never forgotten as we sing justice.